Americans of Reddit, what is your opinion on switching to the metric system? What difference does it make when big tape measure is lobbying with tens of dollars to keep inches, so they don't have to paint more lines? A tape measure's not double-sided like ruler. My persuasive speech in high school speech class was about why we should convert. This was 20 years ago. I got a good grade, but people love multiplying and dividing by 25. Apparently, we're too lazy, so we rounded it to 25. If shit comes out weird, fuck it. I'm even lazier. Round it to 30. Good enough for most everyday use. Hey American men, your dick sounds bigger in centimeters. Conversion happens tomorrow, yay. But since inches are bigger units, you can round your knob to the nearest inch, making it sound bigger than it actually is. If you round to the next centimeter, you haven't gained much. If that means rounding up a 32 ounces beer to 1 liter, then yes please. You think the actual pour will reflect the change? They will probably keep the same glass anyways. It's not like they measure exactly the 32 ounces at most places anyways. They'd probably just fill up their 32 ounces glasses like they usually did and call it a liter. A 12 centimeters long penis sounds much more impressive. I'm in. At least lie and say 13, so at least you're not below average. Average is approximately 5 feet, which is 14 cm, as long as we can add tons as a unit. Buttload is a real unit. Does that make you happy as a consolation prize? Likewise, an assload is 4 bushel, more than that and they'll quit walking or even sit down. It's a real thing. Americans will never accept a foreign ruler. Edit. Thank you all for the upvotes and accolades. Ironically, the US military is all about metric. Anything technology is metric. Imperial just doesn't hold candle to metric's accuracy and rigid definitions. Metric system is miles ahead. The funny thing, it's miles in German too when it comes to this saying, Meilen weit entfernt. The German saying ostensibly comes from nautical miles, which is a beast of an entirely different nature. The metric system is the tool of the devil. My car gets 40 rods to the hogshead, and that's the way I likes it. You right, I measure me chickens in stone and am better for it mate. Are you trying to say that stone isn't an intuitive way to measure weight? Come on buddy. What's so hard to understand about the fact that I weigh the same as 10 rocks in a burlap sack? Bald eagle screech. Freedom units intensify. Reports say a man in CA was mugged, and they beat him within millimeters of his life. 4 millimeters. I would fucking love to do that. It is a lot easier to work. As far as the country as a whole switching I would be fine. K method of using both imperial and metric to save on having to entirely revamping everything. So 90% metric, 10% randomly assigned imperial measurements. And not even the imperial measurements that the US uses lol. Not moving an inch. Don't think you'll find an ounce of support. The metric system is the official measurement system of the US. It has been since the early 1980s, however, it wasn't actually put into practice because we've already been using the imperial system for so long that changing everything over would cause trouble to the infrastructure. Like someone else already said, it's the equivalent of forcing a new language onto society because it's now the official language of this country. Everyone acts like it's just the US. But the UK and Canada also still largely use imperial system in many applications even though officially we're both metric. It's a very gradual shift. In Canada we switched 20 years before I was born and I still couldn't tell you how much I weigh in kilograms or how tall I am in centimeters even though it's written on my driver's license. Asterisk when doing construction unless for government jobs pretty much everyone uses inches and feet asterisk. Anyone talking about how much they can bench this are in pounds asterisk we mostly use teaspoon per tablespoon, cups for cooking asterisk our ovens work in Fahrenheit asterisk we use SI for our tires asterisk we use square feet for areas, etc. This post is remarkably accurate. It's funny how all Canadians innately follow this too, regardless of region. I'm fine with it, but a larger priority is getting rid of that damn daylight savings time. Europe uses daylight savings time too. So does Australia. My state no longer does though, thank the kangaroo gods. I think the world needs to move to base 12, problem solved. I'd rather not have to learn to deal with $A. B2 bills or something. Bills would still be 10, 100, 1000, but stores would sell everything in BBC. Instead of the 99c menu, fast food joints would have the BBC menu. I know a lot of folks like ordering off the BBC menu already. So perhaps this change wouldn't be too intrusive. The US tried to convert back in the 70s. But everyone bitched about it. I'm all in for switching. It would be really nice to go to literally any other country and understand size and speed. Edit. Thanks for my first silver strange. And yes, I personally can do the conversions and understand it's not that difficult, but lots of Americans can't be bothered. Technically we did convert. Congress passed a law establishing the metric system as the standard. But no one gave a fuck. In most countries when they made the switch it was mandatory. But in the US it was voluntary. So as a result no given. I think it's one of those things where on paper it makes sense to use metric. But it'll never happen because of the trouble to switch. Not only infrastructure-wise but people understanding-wise. It would like changing our language because there is another one that is easier once you learn it. The people who need to use it, the academic community, already do. But the imperial system is so deeply ingrained in American culture I can't ever see it going away. If there was a real, concerted effort by the government and several private enterprises then maybe. But it would cost billions of dollars and there is little financial incentive to do so. Even if there were gains to be made in the long run. Corporations only seem to look a quarter or two ahead in the long run.